Well, welcome. We're excited to kick off the 2015 season. It's been a fast and furious transition, but the guys have done a great job. And, these last 20 days, you do a lot of beating up on each other. So I know these guys are chomping at the bit to go attack someone else. So Northern Illinois does a great job. Coach Carey's done a fantastic job in the last bunch of years since he's been there. And they're a team that knows how to win. So we're building towards that, and we're excited to go out and to compete against these guys. And we're looking to go out and get that first win. Yeah, the great thing about football is once you start going through the processes, you kind of forget about all those emotions. I'm sure there'll be a quick minute as we take the field, like really any other big game you look at and you go like, wow, it's kind of a neat deal. But then, you get right back out there coaching and the ball's kicked off and you're not thinking about it. So believe me, I feel blessed every day. We walk out there and I say, wow, I do this for a living. It's pretty neat. But I did the same thing last year and the year before. So it's been a real privilege to be a football coach and excited to be now coaching college football and got a great group of kids in a wonderful town, and we're excited to go get it done. Toughness and resiliency. At the end of the day, I really believe that, if you're going to be a good football team, you have to be tough and resilient, because bad things are going to happen during the course of a game. Things are going to happen throughout the course of a year, and how you respond to adversity really defines you as a football program. So that's something we've talked about quite a bit. We talk about, alignment, assignment technique, and fanatical effort. So obviously there's the teaching concept of it, but at the end it ends with fanatical effort.
Coach, last year, a couple of weeks before, I think the state semi, we sat down and talked. And you talked about coming from Cal to Gorman, and basically it was just picking up the system that you did there, bringing it to Gorman. Has it been the same for you, picking up the system and just coming here, even though it's high school, college?
In certain aspects, yes, and certain no. You pick up the philosophies and you pick up the bones of the system and bring them over here. We're afforded the opportunity to go out and to recruit a staff, to hire different guys who have the same belief system you do. We're doing things a little differently. Not calling them the same as we did at Gorman on defense, and offensively it's more of a philosophy deal. We're not calling them the same either. But we're running zone, we're running power, we're doing the same type of things. But you give your guys a little bit more autonomy, and really you're kind of the gatekeeper of the culture. That's really what I'm doing right now is just really trying to emphasize how important this is to the community, how important it can be to the school, and really trying to just create climate change around here.
Like you don't really have time to kind of wait and see what people in the community hopes so that Coach Sanchez does over time. This is it for you. This is you're staring at like glass in the face. So can you talk about going into a season where maybe expectations aren't high, but you want to be successful because there is no tomorrow, and what he'll do in 5 years, really, you might look back on it, but you won't take part in it.
Yeah, exactly. Great question. Which is interesting you say that. I think the first time we met Coach Sanchez, he came and talked to us. We were standing right in this auditorium. He walked up to the front of the room and he said, he's like, hey, this is obviously going to be a process, but I want this to start this year. And I think for us seniors, that gave us a lot of reassurance that, hey, this is a year we want to go out and win. This isn't a rebuilding year. This isn't a year that we want to go out and gather a couple wins. We want to go out on top. And for us, this is, like you said, this is it. This is our senior year. And so, yeah, we have, although the expectations outside this room might not be very high, for us in the locker room, we have high expectations, so we're excited about it.
Yeah, I think, Blake said it best, when Coach first came in. First day we met him, he said he wants to start now. He wants to start winning now. He doesn't want to wait to build up over the years. He wants to start from now.
Do you feel, though, that hopefully one day, not only if you win this year, but hopefully you will look back and kind of be defined as the foundation to start whatever you might build?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about it before as a senior class, and the guys know that this program's going to get to a point where it's one of the winningest programs in the Mountain West, and that's the goal, and that's what we know is going to happen here. And we want to be a part of that. We want to be the first year that sets it off. We don't want to be kind of swept under the rug as that first year. And Coach Sanchez has done a good job of telling us that that's how he wants to kick it off. So we're excited.
Tony, was it important when you first walked in to look the seniors in the eyes and say, look, this is not going to be, this first year isn't just about us kind of being out here as coaches, but we want to do the best we can for you. But you didn't recruit them, but all of a sudden they were your guys.
I've said that from day one. Some of them we didn't recruit, but we love them, and they're ours, and we own them, and everything we do good, everything we do bad, we're 100% owning right now. And, as these two alluded to, we want to win. We want to win now. Everybody came here to help UNLV have a winning football program. They came here to get degrees. They came here to have a great college experience, and that's the same reason I came. I want to help UNLV move to the top of the Mountain West, and there's no reason we can't go out and play solid football this year and get more wins than a lot of people expect. And the biggest thing is when people ask the question, Well, in a couple years he, in a couple years he, it'll never be about he, it'll always be about we. It'll always be about this group, the people we bring in, administrators, players, coaches, off the field. It's always going to be a we thing around here.
Coach, when you took over your program in California, you really aspired to immediately test them and took them up to play Bellevue. That was a big game for you. You got a couple of big games coming up. Have you thought about that, and that there's a lot of things, there's a lot of similarities to things that you have done in your career immediately in your first season?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things when, people from outside of this area, when they look and go like, wow, you hired a high school coach. It was a different experience. I mean, even back in my days at Cal High, we were jumping on planes and flying across the country and playing on TV, and obviously we did it a lot more at Gorman, but, we know what it's like to be on the road. We know what it's like to be an underdog, or, it's the nature of college football. It's the nature of Mountain West football. I mean, I don't think, with the exception of Boise, I don't know if any of us are going to be favorites in the first couple of weeks. But that's the nature of where we're at right now. But we're excited about that. We're competitors, and we know how to work just like everybody else. And we're a bunch of good coaches, and we got great players, really talented guys, and we're going to go out and take care of the little things, and we'll let the big things take care of themselves.
And you have one big advantage this weekend that Northern normally doesn't really know who you are, where you're going to run and stuff, where you know what to expect.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, we have, film, obviously, from them and Coach Carey and what he's done over the last bunch of years. So we feel pretty good, having an idea, level of comfort going in. And I'm sure they've studied Coach Cotton and where he's been. I'm sure they've looked at Coach Bear and they're watching Colorado film. So they have an idea. They have an idea about our personnel. So, at the end of the day, there's no huge mysteries in this game. There'll be a couple wrinkles we throw in here and there, but it'll end up being about the way we execute and the way they execute.
You said last week that, well, I can't say everything said because some was over, but I think you're confident you can go compete there and have a chance. But you also agreed that while the talent disparity probably is what people think, one thing they have is they truly believe they should win because of what they've done. How long do you think it takes to instill into this program, or do they just have to go do it to
That's a great question. When you walk in our locker room, there's a sign that says "Expect to win," and that's something that you preach all the time. It's something that you work hard in preparing for. But that belief system really has to take hold. I mean, there's something inside of you that when you walk out, you really believe you've worked hard enough and you deserve the opportunity to win a football game. And that's something that it does. It comes over time. It comes over coming over obstacles. But those are things that you build in the weight room, that you build in the off season. You build when it's 110 degrees and you're out there at 2:00 in the summer running with Coach Belton. I mean, those are things you work towards. So I really believe that, there's a good portion of our locker room that expects it. I think there's another portion that wants it, and we have to turn that want into expectation.
When you look at what Northern Illinois has done with 3 coaches getting 5 years of 11 straight wins, is there anything there that you can look at and borrow from here, or are these 2 different situations?
No, I mean, I think good football is good football. I think, quality coaching is just that. They have a great system over there. You alluded to earlier, they expect to win. They prepare to win. When things go bad, I'm sure they don't point fingers and they don't, cast blame. They kind of look internally, and those are things that allow you to be successful. And they're really sound. I mean, offensively, defensively, they're not real complicated in what they do. They're very sound. They take very calculated risks and don't do them very often. They've always had good quarterback play. And a couple years ago, you got a Heisman Trophy candidate, and now it's a completely polar opposite quarterback, but he does the same kind of efficient deal now running the football. So they've done a good job of molding what they do around their players, and that's why they've always been consistent.
Penny, you faced that quarterback last season. I know they had 2 quarterbacks, but you faced this one. What is it about him that sticks out to you?
He's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. He likes to run the ball a lot, and for us as a defense, our focus ain't going to be mainly on the run, but if we can stop him in that fact of the game, then our chances go up more.
You've had experience against this kind of quarterback, and does that help as far as you going, kind of knowing, that you have to be real sound in your assignments?
Oh yeah, we have to be sound in all that we do, and with Coach Bear, they're doing a good job dialing up the defense that we're going to be playing.
What are some of the things you've done? You say you're the gatekeeper. Some of the things you've done that are helping change that culture.
Well, I think it starts off with being very clear in your expectations. You know, the expectations we have on the football field, the way we work, the way we move from drill to drill, the physicality that we want to have. It's that same thing inside the weight room, you know, meeting with Coach Belton, you know, from the very get-go and letting him know the culture we want to establish around here. Academics, you know, these guys understanding that, you know, a 2.2 GPA is not acceptable and will never happen again, and we're going to attack that as vigorously as we do anything else. I think it's that constant conversation. There's not one speech that really does it. It's a constant dialogue about life and the way we want to live and the way we want to do things, and then really challenging people and holding them accountable to those things. So that, you know, with a bunch of guys that are just dying to have success, and a town that showed very recently that they're excited about it too. I mean, there's been a big buzz in town, and I think people are genuinely excited about the opportunity and the future that UNLV football has in this town.
Look, outside of the actual game, the players.
Yeah, well, that's all part of the deal. You know, it's all part of rebranding and reselling it. And you know, we don't want to just be the university's team, and that's important to us. We're UNLV, but we also want to be the city's team. There's 2 million people here that can embrace this program and fill up Sam Boyd Stadium. So sticking, you know, the Stardust stars on the pants and putting Las Vegas on it and throwing Hey Reb there, and then at the same time, you know, wearing black uniforms, red, white, and they look cool. I mean, you know, that's what you do. You recruit with cool. So you got to recruit with cool, and then you got to keep them with substance. You know, at the end of the day, cool is not what keeps it and drives it, but it's what starts the conversation, and then you have to have substance behind it, and then people stay and buy in, and you start winning games.
You kind of get that, don't you? The whole social media, the whole what the kids are all about today.
Kids are different. You know, I got a 14-year-old daughter. I've got an 11-year-old son. They know a whole lot more about it than I do, you know. But I even saw, you know, my last couple of years, you know, coaching over at Gorman, that, you know, you really see how in tune these kids are and how they communicate. And it's an opportunity for us to communicate. It's an opportunity for us to brand. It's an opportunity for us to send messaging out, not just to kids we're recruiting, but also into the community. So I think you have to use it. It's a vital tool, and it's the future.
For both players just outside of you, this week's finally here, and all the buzz wins this season, what do you think about all that?
You know, it's been exciting in the offseason. It's exciting to have buzz. It's exciting to go out in the community and have people excited about football. But I think ultimately for us, just getting here, getting to game week, we love talking about it, but it's time to be done talking about it and time to get on the field and actually do it. So the guys in the locker room are excited. We're excited. We're just ready to go out there and strap it on and get going.
Yeah, it's been exciting. You know, we put in a lot of hard work, and now it's just time to go and get benefit from it.
Guys, both players, and also just kind of follow up on what Tony was saying about that the look, the feel, the uniforms, the different uniforms, the color of the scheme, the welcome to Las Vegas, the matches, and all that. You guys talk about that also.
Yeah, definitely. It's exciting. As soon as we saw the details, we saw the uniform comes out, the different helmets. We were one of the first ones to see them because of the Mountain West, the media day that we had, and they let us kind of gear up with it and take some pictures with it. And it was exciting. I mean, the guys, obviously the younger guys, that's Coach Sanchez said it best. Cool sells. That's what gets guys here and gets guys excited about it. And even for us, we're probably 2 of the oldest players in college football, but we're still excited about it. It gets us fired up and excited too. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's what you expect from college football. So.
Blake, you've always been confident in yourself that the opportunity to go out there this Saturday. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the players, they're fired up about the new uniforms, the new look and stuff like that. You know, it's like motivation to them. You know, Coach Sanchez said it best. You know, cool sales.
I love this game week when the media starts fighting. Here we go.
It's go time. It's go time.
I'm sorry, I jumped in.
Jack Trice, can you play a game?
Yeah, we're rusty too for some reason. No, Blake, you know, this obviously you've always had a big, strong belief in yourself. So going into this week, are you determined to show everyone else, because you've had a strong camp and obviously strong end in the spring, that's who you are?
You know, I think a lot of my confidence stems from the team. I understand that it's not about me. It's about the guys that we have on the outside. It's about the guys we have up front. It's about the running backs we have in the backfield with me. And so, my confidence has grown because they've had confidence in me. I've had confidence in them. And as an offensive unit, we've done a lot of good things through spring and through camp. And I'm just excited to showcase offensively what we have, defensively to see what they've been doing as well, and knowing that it's about coming out on top with a victory, whether I play terribly or whether I play great. It's about coming out with a win, and that's what I'm most excited to showcase. So.
How important was, especially the way spring ended, and then the camp you've had as far as, you know, going into the season and playing with your teammates and getting that rhythm going?
It's important. I mean, I remember back in spring, Coach Sanchez said that he's not a big believer in gamers, and that's kind of in reference to guys that, I mean, show up to practice, they're inconsistent, and they show up to games and think they're just going to turn on the light switch and really have it going. And before he had said that, I mean, not that I thought of myself as a gamer, but I mean, I had some inconsistencies during practice, and so I realized, I mean, I kind of had to flip that switch I had to be on during all practices. And granted, I've had some bad practices during fall camp and during spring, but I really made that effort. And offensively, we made that effort just to be in game mode and make sure that we're 100% in our execution and our attention to detail. And in so doing, I think that's kind of brought us together offensively as a unit and just given us that confidence to go into this week and know that we can put up points and move the ball down the field.
Tony, you've always had the philosophy that when in high school, coming back after winter break, everything starts and you get rolling then. At what point since you've taken over did you see and know and feel in your heart the potential that these guys had and know that they had bought into the philosophy? How long did that take? When did you kind of embrace it and feel it?
Well, you know, at the very beginning, you're going a million miles an hour, and you're just shoving everything down their throat as far as, you know, eating and school and, you know, lifting and football. And, you know, so there's a lot of that. And you go through spring, and that's an exciting time. I really saw it in the summertime. When I saw the entire team, you know, and, you know, we all took summer school classes. The whole team GPA stayed above the 2.7 the entire summer. They didn't go home. They stayed here. They lifted weights. You know, they were enthusiastic about it. And Coach Belton does a great job of, you know, creating that energy. And, you know, when you're sitting there and it's, you know, I cut my vacation short a week this year because there's so much to do. And, you know, when you're sitting there and it's, you know, the middle of July and, you know, they're getting ready to go do their 2 o'clock run and they're excited and they're jumping up and down, they're hooting and hollering and you watch the way they, you know, you look out the window and you watch the way they work and it's pretty interesting, you know, and you're like, okay, wow, they're starting to get it, you know. Success hurts. Success is tough. Not everyone's going to share in it. So you got to be willing to live in the land of the uncomfortable. You know, as soon as you become comfortable being uncomfortable, you know you're growing. I mean, and that's what our whole deal is here, is challenging young men to grow and to challenge themselves. Once they embrace that, there's nothing they can't accomplish.
Notice on the white pop board over there, you got the cocktail right there. Bring that over from Garner.
Yep, everywhere I've gone. Got it.
You took a vacation.
Huh? Yeah, you know that.
Seriously, how long have you had so many interviews and media? Like, if this has to be as long as you maybe have not been at home.
I tell you what, it's been a grind. You know, when last July, you go back a year ago in July, we had a break before we got going, and from that point we went back so after the 4th of July week all the way through until this spring break, which was what, April? In April, that's the first time I had 48 hours off in a row. I mean, I came in on Christmas Eve, I came in on New Year's Day, on New Year's Eve, worked all the way through, and then finally we got to go on spring break. You know, got away for a week, and then grinded it through, and then we took the family up to we took them up to Savannah, Georgia, and we drove through the Carolinas and went to Washington, D.C. for a week. And after a week, I told my wife, we got to get back. There's a lot of work to do, so it was good.
How did it feel? I'm told you were in the stands on Saturday?
I was.
How did that feel? Was that very odd? You probably had to be there, but how did that feel?
Yeah, well, you know, it's very fortunate. You know, it's not very often in life do you get a chance to kind of see what, you know, you've helped build, and it was kind of neat, just, you know, seeing the whole fanfare and, you know, sitting in the stands and watching it, and just really proud of my brother and all those guys. There's a lot of coaches there that, you know, came with me from Cal High, people that I absolutely love and, you know, bled with and spent a lot of time with. So I was really proud of them. It was just fun to watch my little brother go out there and, you know, just do his thing with a great group of kids, and I was proud.
You say you played golf with Rod Carey in the spring or something?
I did. You know, they had a coaches summit, and just randomly me and Coach Carey from Northern Illinois got paired up, and it was funny. You know, he knocks one pretty close, and I marked it for him with a UNLV ball marker. So we used the UNLV ball marker all day. It was pretty funny.
Where was that?
It was in Arizona. Yeah, in Phoenix.
Is it different for game playing for a team like, you know, here in college, where, like, say you're playing Durango?
We did it the same every week.
What's that?
You do it the same every week. I mean, again, there's way more volume here. There's more formations. There's more, personnel groupings. There's more to do. Special teams is a lot more intricate. But I'll be honest with you, when you're playing, you know, St. John Bosco, it's very similar. You know, when you're playing some of those teams that do it at a high level, and that's why you've seen so many guys go from being coordinators in high school to coordinators at big time schools and done well. I mean, I believe Clemson's coordinator that just left was making over $1 million, and he came out of high school, you know. So it's when you do it at a high level, you do it at a high level anywhere.
You gotta be fired up, huh? You You gotta be really fired up.
I know these guys are. They can't wait for all of us coaches to be on the sideline and not be out there with them, yelling at them in practice, right?
That might be nice,
Yeah. No, we're excited. I mean, at the end of the day, it's football. I mean, this is what we do. I mean, these guys signed up for it a long time ago, and I mean, heck, I did too. I mean, playing Pop Warner many years ago, and every year you feel like you're reinvented. It's a new opportunity. I don't care what you did last year. I don't care if it was good or bad. It's a fresh start. You start over, and you crank it, and all the talking ends Saturday. All the this and all the that and all the speculation and all the picks, they mean nothing. You go out, you play the game. There's a winner and a loser, and that's fantastic. It's American.
You ever think to yourself, Coach, a successful guy from Reno, King Danner, couldn't do it. A legend, John Robinson, couldn't do it. An offensive coordinator couldn't do it. A successful FCS guy couldn't do it. You ever think to yourself, God, does that kind of motivate you? All these guys couldn't, I can.
And I don't think it's about they couldn't and I can. I just know that this is an opportunity that I've been afforded, and I'm going to take advantage of it, and we're going to give a phenomenal effort. I 100% believe we will get this thing going. We will turn it around for a lot of different reasons. And sometimes, too, I think you're in the right place at the right time, at the right moment. I think this is a time where, Las Vegas has grown. It's not 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 anymore. It's now 2 million. You're starting to see a lot of success in our community from our youth. I think we were talking the other day, we had a girls softball team that won a national championship the other day. Our Little League, right? Okay, there you go. We had a Little League team that won a World Series. We had a junior college baseball team that won a national title not too long ago. We have a pretty darn good high school team here in this town. I mean, there's been a lot of success. You look at the guys in the NFL and guys in the NBA, and you know what? You can't do that unless you have a town that really fosters and he really cares about young people, So having that, I think it lends to the university experience. It lends to UNLV becoming a hometown school. So I think I'm good at what I do. I think I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity at this point in my career. I think I've met some amazing guys along the way, and those are the guys that are working for me now as assistant coaches, working with me, I should say. I think I inherited some darn good players, and I think we recruited some good ones. And I think all those things coming together give us an opportunity. Right now we go into it with a puncher's chance, and over the years we'll continue to develop, and we'll get better and better. But you know what? We're excited. The goal is 1-0.
You anticipate those freshmen with big wide eyes?
Yes, I am. We'll see how quick we can settle that down, right?
So do you have an injury report this week?
Yeah, we're relatively healthy. I mean, there's not a single guy that's out this week. I mean, nothing's changed since camp. Jeremiah Valoga's out. Philippe's out, but he's out for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks, so for the most part of the season. But nothing different.
You have an extensive bookshelf. You always have one in particular leading up to certain games, certain situations. What's been leading you up to this week?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Unlike most years, I haven't had much time to read. So I think it's my game plan book that's the only thing I've read in the last couple of weeks. It's the first time that in the last month or two that I have not read a book. So but all those books that I read in the past and all those great conversations I've had, those have all helped me quite a bit during this transition.